What about the new technologies? Threat, opportunities? Especially in the legal context, I would imagine that there's...
Yeah, there's an awful lot of... So artificial intelligence is something that we've been following for quite some time. We've had lots of active engagements looking at what we think the technology could do in our business. So just a few observations. One, there's quite a lot of media hype about artificial intelligence. It strikes me that everything from powerful search engines through to proper cognitive learning all get put under this AI banner, and then there's people coming along and talking about what does it mean for jobs and these kind of things. So just a few things, and I'll just put them into the legal kind of context as to where I see it going. I think that there is inevitably going to be a move where technology is able to provide services to people providing legal work today, that today they do manually. So
sort of transactional type service.
So I think that will come in. And I think that will be...
Conveyancing a house, for instance.
Yeah, I think it will be a commodity very, very quickly, some of that stuff. Sure. So things where you can set simple rules down, where you've got, for example, even in due diligence exercises, if there are lots of contracts and you're looking for expiry dates after 2020, technology exists that can do that really quickly right now, and that will become a commodity quite fast. What I think we're going to have to do in our organisation to respond to that is going to be, there's a skills shift. And I wonder if the teams that we have today, where we have lawyers facing up to our clients, I wonder in the future if we're going to end up with multidisciplinary teams. So there may be some people who look like IT people today included in those teams working with our clients, because there will be a technical component to what they do. So these people won't be practicing the law. They will be there to make sure that we've got the right data and information. And it's actually, there's a big life cycle attached to this as well, because it's where is the information when I'm analysing it? And then back to the questions we talked about before. How long do I keep the information for? Who has access to it? How do I make sure it's deleted? That whole life cycle is going to take some management. And today it's quite easy to do a transaction, then just sort of throw everything in the bin, or as appropriate, it gets saved depending on what the rules are.
Well, one theme actually, it's the skills, and we've talked about the skills perhaps of the professionals moving towards having more digital IT skills. What about the skills that you're needing in your organization as the CIO?
Yes.
How has that changed, and how is that changing, and how do you see that evolving? We're told we've got a shortage of these sorts of skills.
Yes.
Is it true, and why is it true, and who do we need?
Okay. The biggest skills gap that I think I have is in people who can quickly and easily understand a business requirement and turn that into something that's actionable. Like really, and I mean really fast. I'm not talking about the difference between an agile methodology and a waterfall one. I mean somebody who can see an opportunity to either automate something or make an improvement, and to be able to say, actually, we can do that, and then have the support all the way down my IT organisation to drive that through.
What about, this role of the business relationship manager?
Yes, so I think that's what I think.
BRM.
Yeah, I think it's in that space that I think this needs to come out.
Okay.
So today, lots of we call them engagement teams, but they're like BRMs. When they go and engage with our practice, they will get given lists of things that are broken or don't work or could be improved. And the BRM has to then do something with it. And my organisation needs to be realigned in order to be able to make this stuff happen really quickly. We are able to push stuff through today, but it causes all sorts of disruption when it goes through really quickly. And it creates problems in other areas. And I think there's a big requirement to find people who can help make sure that you can drive those things through on a regular basis while not disrupting your more complex and probably slightly slower paced deliverables around things like our document management system.
Sure.
Where we can't afford to rush because the impact if it goes wrong is far too great. But actually some of these little things, being able to do stuff really quickly that benefits our employees and then our clients, there's a big prize if we get that right, and we're not doing it. So what skills do we need? I think there's a skill around delivery, there's a skill around business understanding, there's kind of a tenacity thing that's needed as well. And I often say to people in my function today, we've all got to learn to be more curious. We've got to learn to understand why is something a problem and what can we do to solve that quickly for them, rather than just saying, oh yeah, we've heard about this for the last 6 months, we know it's a problem. Which is, I think that's a sort of stereotypical answer from an IT person. And so I'm trying to encourage people, no, be a bit client-centric and say, right, how do we do something unique here? How do we do something clever? That they have. But
the GDPR change, I mean, the difference between what we have now and what the GDPR with the 4% of global revenues does raise the ante somewhat, doesn't it?
It raises the ante, and I think what it's helped do is it's helped alert more senior figures in organizations.
Right,
so
business figures.
All of us, exactly. So all of a sudden, if you were struggling to get the attention of this subject within your executive or your risk committee, you've now got no problems at all, because the threat of the fine is real, and therefore but you made the point earlier, it's a call to arms. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it?
So does that help the role of the CIO? Is that going to help us, in what we're trying to do in organizations?
I think it will help get some investment around how we store our data. Certainly some of our metadata and our tagging and those kind of things, I think will have to improve. It may also, lots of organizations really struggle with the question of, when do I delete information?
Oh, yes.
And you want to hold on to something.
The 7-year rule.
For as long as you might need to. But of course, it's quite difficult as a CIO to just go across your whole organization and say, right, on any particular day, what needs to be deleted? There may be reasons why you have to keep certain things, or why certain things are important, and things that are under, in our business, for example, we might be working with regulators or investigations for things that have been going on